All right, guys, I'm really happy to bring you some amazing news for once. This is maybe the most based thing that the Biden administration has done yet. So, this is in the American Prospect. They say Biden's NLRB, that's the National Labor Relations Board, brings workers' rights back from the dead. A decision last Friday makes union organizing possible again. Last Friday, the National Labor Relations Board released its most important ruling in many decades in a party line decision in Cemex Construction Materials Pacific LLC. The board ruled that when a majority of a company's employees file union affiliation cards, the employer can either voluntarily recognize their union or, if not, ask the board to run a union recognition election. If, in the run-up to or during that election, the employer commits an unfair labor practice, such as illegally firing pro-union workers, which, by the way, has become routine in nearly every such election over the past 40 years, the board will order the employer to recognize the union and enter forthwith into bargaining. So, in other words, the union will become automatically legal, automatically legitimate in a scenario where bosses try to mess with an attempt to unionize. This is the best thing we've seen on labor rights literally since FDR. So that means like even Lyndon B. Johnson, JFK, they did nothing as strong on this issue as this is. And obviously this blows out of the water Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. This could be a game changer for unions. The Cemex decision was preceded by another one day earlier in which the board, also along party lines, set out rules for representation elections which required them to be held promptly after the board had been asked to conduct them, curtailing employers' ability to delay them, often indefinitely. Taken together, this 1-2 punch effectively makes union organizing possible again after decades in which unpunished employer illegality was the most decisive factor in reducing the nation's rate of private sector unionization from roughly 35% to the bare 6% at which it stands today. With this decision, you're guaranteed to see an explosion in unionization with this one decision, because in virtually every case across the board, you do have the owners and the bosses messing with workers who are trying to unionize, and then they can like crush the union and there's really no penalty at all. And if there is any penalty, it's a slap on the wrist. Well, now it's like, if you mess with an attempt to create a union, the union is now automatically recognized. Now, if you're skeptical as to just how big of an impact this can have, well, look at this. This is like a day or two later. The Trader Joe's Union has filed what appears to be the first charge under the recent NLRB ruling that says if a union demonstrates majority support and bosses proceed to union bust, the board can scrap the election and force the company to negotiate. The ruling is retroactive, and the case pertains to the rampant union busting conducted by Trader Joe's leading up to the April election at the New York City Essex Crossing location. The ruling is retroactive. So in theory, we could wake up tomorrow and have like 25% unionization rate in the country. It's 6% right now. It could be like 25% like that. They've done nothing but union bust for decades now. And so if you could show that there's union busting going on, then immediately your union is recognized. And look, we've seen what happens with unions. We all saw the UPS negotiations. We all saw, what is it, like the UAW is about to strike and they're like 150,000 strong and they're asking for like a 32% increase in pay or something like that. And they want a 4-day work week. And like, it's a new day, man. It's a new day in the country. I just want to be clear about how amazing this is. I honestly think this will have a bigger impact than even if we just like raise the minimum wage. Now, I'm 100% in favor of raising the minimum wage. It's the best. It's a phenomenal policy. But I think this will impact workers more. So let's be clear. There is no like comparison or equivalence between Trump and Biden or standard Republican and standard Democrat in this instance. There is no false equivalence. This is like, one is good on this front, one is bad. So it's a happy day because all the nihilism and doomerism, you could feel it like slowly but surely receding because there's no denying what this is for working people. It looks like Biden just unilaterally did card check It's like the pro-union legislation that was big in the Obama era that they were trying to get through, but they weren't really able to get it through. They found a way to do it on their own, the NLRB. It's weird for me to even do commentary on the story because I'm so used to being like a doomer all the time. I'm so used to like covering negative story after negative story after negative story. And here we have one that's so positive that like I'm almost at a loss for words. This is legitimately a game changer. We should all be celebrating. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. As always, thank you for listening to me babble. Everybody do me a big favor. Click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. Thank you to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. Links in the video description box below if you'd like to do that. Remember, I've never talked to an advertiser. I'm very proud of that fact, so we love any small dollar donations that you guys are willing to give. You could also tip through YouTube. There's a thanks button below as well. And always subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends. There's a link below for that. And remember, guys, we're having an awesome debate upcoming this week. We're going to be debating a right-wing populist. Am I buying his argument? Am I buying his line? You know, am I buying even the concept of a right-wing populist at this point? Well, we'll find out, so sign up and check it out. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.